How we doing, everybody? This is for you gooners out there. Aside from health advice, one of the topics I get emailed about the most is sex, relationship, gooning advice. Thiago, how do I stop? This is consuming my life. I need help. Great, wonderful. This video, I want you to understand, manage, and mitigate these desires that you have. I want to make it very clear before we start that there is nothing wrong with gooning, nor do I think you should stop. And if you're eating the way I recommend, which is for optimal health and longevity, I don't think you will be able to stop these things. You can go for maybe 1, 2, 3 weeks, but eventually you also just bust a nut in your sleep. So it's almost against your will. We are a slave to our hormones. And if your hormones are healthy, then they will tell you that, brother, sister, we need to fuck. Now, with that being said, I understand the society that we are thrusted into. We don't encourage relationships. Lots of people are damaged, so it's hard to form those relationships to begin with. And on top of all of that, we now have porn flying at us from all different directions, whether it be at softcore, through Instagram, TikTok. It all funnels down to you getting your nut off. Well, why would this be? Well, you have things like OnlyFans, people spending hundreds, thousands of dollars on these things. You could even go more conspiratorial and say they're trying to discourage the population of healthy families. Sure, cool, all great theories. I'm going to be honest, I don't give a shit about the theories. What I care about is what it's doing to you. Now, I'm going to draw you. This is you. I'm going to give you a box body because, I don't know, if you're gooning, then you're probably a bit of a loser. Alright, hi, this is you. Inside of yourself, you have a lot of sexual energy. Oh, Jesus. You have a lot of sexual energy. Especially when, how do I make this thicker? You have your sexual organs. Wow. That is huge, dude. Congrats. Now, when you have your sexual organs, your hormones obviously start changing. You start doing things, you start thinking about doing things with, let's call her, where's a triangle? Give me a triangle. Now, you start thinking about doing things with her. Or if you're a woman, you're thinking about doing things with him. Granted, I didn't draw him as attractive as her, but you guys get it, okay? What you are incentivized to do is to follow your feelings. This is the advice I give to most people when it comes to their life. But when it comes to relationships, this you have to double down on. You really have to do what feels good. Now, what feels really good? Well, glad you asked. It is sex. Sex feels really good. If you are hedonistic, people will tell you the purpose of sex is pleasure. PL. The purpose of sex is in pleasure. While yes, life is about having fun and enjoying it, pleasure merely indicates that you are doing something right. You want to continue experiencing pleasure. The thing is, pleasure is a very good tool for you to know when you're moving in the right direction. Where am I getting at with this? Well, when you're having sex with someone, let me give you a couple examples. A one-night stand is going to feel alright. It's going to feel good. You're having sex with someone, maybe even a bit exciting, right? But let's say you never see that person again. You've now accrued a bunch of trauma. The person doesn't understand or connect with you in the same way because, you've only done it one time. Now, you could do this in a relationship. Wonderful. Now the person understands you a bit better. The connection is a little bit better. This is good. The sex is going to be better. But there is a level above this, which is having sex the way nature, the way really you want it to go down. If you are healthy and you are listening to the feelings, the best way to have sex is when you dump your load, and as a woman, it is when you receive it. As healthy people, there are a bunch of examples of people hating this, they don't want to do it, they're scared. These are people who have been subject to a lot of societal programming. These are people that you really don't want to get into a relationship with if the ultimate goal of your life is to have a family. But I sort of understand. We are in a place right now where none of that is encouraged. It is very hard to find, and I think you are very lucky to have that in your life, if you do. Now, granted, I am talking about Western culture, not other places in the world. So while sex, yes, is supposed to feel good, it is supposed to be a gateway into doing the things that make you feel the best you could ever feel. Which, while having sex naturally would feel the best for healthy people, what comes after that, which is the birth of your own child, is nothing compared to that. It is a surface level compared to the magnitude of happiness you're going to experience when you do the things you're supposed to do, when you follow the things that feel good. Does that make sense? Now, the problem is when you're a little jit, okay, and you unfortunately don't have. I'm going to draw another woman. Oh, geez, it's going to take a while. The problem is when you grow up in this society, this is you in this society, but you do not have access to, a partner at the age that you want it at, which is a lot younger than people tell us nowadays. Well, now you start running into issues, right? The purpose of your sexual organs are not being fulfilled. You can't do the thing that you want to do, which is her. Or if it's her, then it's you. Maybe as a woman, you also don't have access to I should draw these guys a little bit more attractive. So when you don't have access to this, well, now you're running into issues because you still have this pent-up energy, right? This sexual energy, you can call it. This is a little more spiritual, you could say, but ultimately it's the same thing. It's your hormones, it's your biochemical state changing, it's a spiritual, sexual energy. I don't care about the name. You guys understand it. You change. You want different things now. Then you will resort to gooning. And like I said, nothing wrong with that. This is a way of coping. And coping gets a bad rap nowadays. Oh, this is cope, this is cope. But coping is a way to how to manage your own reality. Sometimes we don't always have the things that we want in life. And maybe they will come eventually in time. But in the meantime, while we don't have them, there needs to be an outlet for this somehow. And a common one is busting nuts. While busting nuts is fine, you have to understand that your sexual desires, this need, this sexual energy, is being artificially altered with porn. And remember, porn is everywhere, guys. It's not just Pornhub. It is TikTok. It is Instagram. It is almost every social media that you can possibly think of right now. Even my channel is a bit of porn, I guess you could say, right? I'm here with my shirt off. A lot of my shots don't have my shirt on. Now, I don't do it for that reason. I do it because if it was up to me, I would just never wear clothes in general. But the sexual stimulus for both men and women is virtually everywhere. You can't really get away from it unless you want to get rid of electricity, right? Technology in of itself, which is a route you could take, but obviously it's a lot more drastic and probably more needed for extreme cases. Now, as a way to mitigate these inevitable desires that we will experience, we have to focus on a few things. Meaning that if we're not getting what we want, which is ideally a beautiful partner who's into us, that we are into and both want the same things because we're healthy and we want a big family, then we're going to have to cope. We're going to have to manage and we're going to have to mitigate these desires in some way or another. How I want you to understand sexual energy is also creative energy. When you bust where you're supposed to, you create a child. This is the epitome of creating something, of having union with your partner. It literally symbolizes all of this. Great, wonderful. But since most of us won't be doing that, you need to find, one, a creative outlet. Jesus Christ. Creative. Get creative. I don't give a fuck what you do. That's the wonderful thing, right? Since it is creative, there is a large array of activities you can do. You can do construction. I'm going to draw a hammer. It's a hammer. You can do construction. Carpentry. I guess another fucking hammer. You can do content. I'm going to draw a little camera. Yes. You can do some sort of art. Like me right now. Look, I'm drawing. Haha. You can do some sort of art. I don't give a fuck what it is. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to be using your inherently creative sexual energy, creating something else. Wonderful. Oh my god, this is fun. I haven't used this before. Normally, how you find what creative thing you like to do is gauging what you enjoyed doing as a child. I would say if it's mostly guys watching this video, a lot of you guys liked building in some way or another. Whether that was with sticks or stones, digging holes, there is a sense of euphoria and even flow state that you feel when you create things. If this is something you can get paid for, oh my god, even better. Now the next one's a little bit harder to do, just because of everything I've talked about, but it is girlfriend or boyfriend. Alright, for the ladies that watch the channel. Now, this is incredibly important, alright? Nowadays though, and there is nuance to this, having a girlfriend or boyfriend won't just make you stop jerking off, okay? This isn't the pill solution nowadays. What I mean by this is that when you get into a relationship nowadays, there is a lot of getting to know the person, building that connection with them, understanding who the person that you are with is. In this meantime, you likely still have a need to fuck them. Really, what you want is kids. But because of all these rules, you could say, you're not having kids. You're waiting for kids. You are waiting to have money. You are waiting to get your own house. Whatever the fuck it is you're waiting for, you're not having kids right now. You're still going to have this energy, but I will say it will help a lot. It will help a lot to mitigate this desire to jerk off because, well, she's probably draining you and he's probably fucking you. So this is a better place to be. This isn't the only thing though. I find that if you are not attracted to your woman, or if your woman is not attracted to you, more importantly, if the partners are not fulfilling the fantasies they have, then they will always just resort back to porn. People who watch porn while they're still in relationships have sexual fantasies that are not being fulfilled by their partner. This is a horrible place to be. This could be because your girlfriend or boyfriend is traumatized. They've had lots of partners in the past. They've had lots of other sexual experiences in the past that you unfortunately cannot fulfill because you are not those people. She can maybe communicate it with you, he can communicate it with you, but I normally find this is a slippery slope, right? You're going to be with someone who is never going to want you for you. They're going to want you because you have a dick or a vagina, and they're kind of reliving these experiences in the past with you. And that's why I say, for the most part, find people who are inexperienced in the first place. But I will say, if you have a girlfriend or boyfriend and you are waiting to have kids for whatever reason, let's presume this relationship that you're in is healthy, and you also have a creative outlet, well, now you're doing two things right. I think it's going to be a lot, and I mean a lot easier for you to not jerk off. One, because you have a partner who's going to fulfill your fantasies, is going to make you feel good, is essentially going to drain that out of you. And then two, that energy that you do have, you're spending it on something that simulates, in a more superficial sense, child making, but something creative nonetheless. Now, the next point here is biochem. No, not the course. Biochem. What? You can't even see that. What the fuck? Can you guys see it? Wonderful. Your biochemistry. Hey, look, it's me. I am how you stop jerking off. Nah, come on. Come on, I'm lying. Alright, so the third point is your biochemistry. You have to understand that your necessity to ejaculate, to want to jerk off, sometimes comes from anxiety. Jonas Vonderplanitz made studies comparing animals who ate cooked food and frozen food. What he found is that a lot of the side effects of consuming cooked or frozen food and not raw meat was neurological effects. He noticed that animals that ate frozen meat were a lot more anxious, were a lot more nervous, and held a lot more toxins. Your body, when toxic, does hold toxins, I don't know, these are fucking toxins, in your semen. Wonderful. That's your semen right there. All of this is going to be stored in your ejaculate, and when you have enough of them, or too much of them, your body instinctually, reflexively, wants to jerk off. You want to get it out of your system. Your body always tries to do this in a bunch of other creative ways. Some people get acne, some people get autoimmune issues, some people get diabetes or cancer. Some people just want to bust a nut. Now, this is a better way to detox. Because it doesn't damage many of your important organs. But for those of you who want to stop gooning as much, Understand it also comes from a biochemical state. How anxious are you? Now, what are the things that make you anxious? Well, running on carbohydrates is going to make you more anxious. I want to make that very clear. Meaning if you consume a lot of fruits, if you consume a lot of dairy, you will have this urge to want to ejaculate. On top of this, not being in a ketogenic state. Ketones are a more stable, more energy efficient form of energy for humans. And these ones are a little more specific. Avoiding cooked foods because that creates toxins and carcinogens in your food. Your body will try to find a way to detox from. And avoiding frozen foods. This, a jaundice found, made dogs and cats very anxious and nervous animals. You don't want to be an anxious and nervous animal. You want to be calm. You want to be chill. The only thing that can really do this is fresh, and I emphasize fresh here, organs, meat, and blood. But since I talked about ketones here and not using carbs for energy, what I really mean is high-fat, raw animal foods. Bone marrow, kidney suet, any other fat source. Fatty cuts of meat from animals. Now, I'm going to be in the middle here because I'm a fucking G. This is so fun. Now, I'm going to summarize on this last point here because I don't want people to get confused. Try to avoid cooked, frozen, heavy carbohydrates, insulin, hormone altering foods. I understand if you're growing, and if you're growing, then your hormones are out of whack anyway. You're probably going to be hornier than any other time in your life. So this is a little more understandable. But if we're also talking about grown men who want to stop jerking off, then being in a ketogenic state with raw animal foods is going to be ideal for your biochemical state. You will feel calm, you will feel relaxed. Really, biochemically, that's where you want to be if you want to make it very easy for you to stop jerking off. Again, we're a slave to our hormones, and if you eat the foods you're supposed to, I don't think you're going to run into a lot of these issues. Now, the last point here is environment. This is, I think, very underrated. Environment. Now, environment consists of a few things. Let me kind of break it down for y'all. When it comes to your environment, what is the place that you're in? In countries where the general climate and weather is more inviting, you are going to be outside more often than not. If you live in a shitty place where you have to be inside all day, it's cold all the time, you are going to be depressed. This is something that isn't really talked about, but is very important. When you're outside, you're not going to be busting nuts, I think. A huge part of people busting nuts and gooning in general is a lot of it that they do feel bored, right? There's not much going on in their life. They're also missing the things I talked about before, girlfriend, creative outlets, but a lot of it is getting bored. When you're alone at home, 3 p.m., and you have nothing to do, I guarantee most guys here who know the existence of porn will jerk off because you're not doing anything. When you feel that urge, remove yourself from your environment and get yourself into an environment where that won't be an issue. For example, you feel this urge, go hang out with a friend. Go get some sun with a friend. Be around your family. Go have a chat with your sibling. These things won't turn you on. At least I hope they won't. When you put yourself in this environment, it's going to be much easier for you to not even think about porn in the first place. You are doing something with your life. You're doing something you hopefully enjoy, which is talking, interacting with the people around you. Being alone in your room with technology where all sorts of porn are at the touch of your fingertips is obviously, like, people ask me, like, how do I stop jerking off but I stay in my room all day? Are you guys fucking retarded? Like, of course, if you're in your room all day, it's obvious. Like, it's almost like human, in a weird way, it's like altered human nature. You cannot stop yourself at that point. So there's a few things. There's your climate, weather. There is the people that you surround yourself with. And then there is the direct environment that you're in. Get out of your room, you fucking morons. Go outside. Touch grass. Great, great, great. Essentially, environment is looking at the pattern. Where do you feel the urges the most? Also, sleeping alone is also going to make it very easy. Being on your phone all the time is also going to make it very easy. These are things that you have to stop. The issue here isn't stopping your desires. God, nature have already instilled these desires in us for the reasons I hope you understand. What you have to understand, what is really the enemy here, is the people in charge who have essentially tried to biohack our desires. They put all these tools in front of us so that we almost jeopardize what our desires are supposed to be used for. Now, a big one that probably a lot of you are Now, a big one that probably a lot of you are wondering is, well, Thiago, how do I get a girlfriend, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of you, this is also something I get asked. Getting a girlfriend depends on, well, how social are you? What I mean by social is not extroverted, but where is your face? People need to decide if they want to be with you based on your face. The more handsome, the more attractive your face is, the nicer your smile is, the more people will likely say yes to making that decision about you. The problem is a lot of you who are inside all day, this again goes back to environment, don't really have these options. You guys aren't in front of women. Women are going to fall in love with the people they are in front of because that's the people they can see. But most of you motherfuckers don't leave the house. What communities are you in? What clubs do you enjoy doing? Are you even posting online is a great way to do this nowadays. Now there is dating apps as well, which I don't recommend just because of the people, but I've never used them, so I could be very close-minded about this. I have a friend who uses Muzz, which is a Muslim dating app, and I'm sure the women, he tells me the women there are much better quality. He can get his face out there, he's getting a ton of matches, lots of people who can make the decision whether they could be into him or not. Again, wonderful place to be. Do you have a group of friends that you can go out into the city or whatever town you're in, ideally not the city, but the town that you're in where it's a place you can meet other people, a bar, a social club, even a bowling alley, a place where you can see other people. That's the best way to do it. And your success will really be determined on how cute, how handsome your face is. So that's a little extra touch for you gooners just trying to get a girlfriend as well. Because I understand this is this issue of goon, ultimately just comes from sexual frustration, which could most easily be released with a partner. Oh, I wrote goon there. Yes, gooning is just sexual frustration. I totally get it. Anyways, I liked moving myself around here. This is fun. That was the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, take care.